Hey, it's me. In this week's video, I'm going to be painting seashells. I totally should have done blue nails with my yellow background.
It could have been like the ocean and the sand. Aha!
That just looks scary. This video came highly requested after I posted my room tour and I showed you guys my little box of seashells. I've had this box of shells in my life for a really long time. I think like 6 years or so. I did collect these seashells from the beach. Well, most of them.
Apparently I bought that one for 99 cents.
Also, what the heck is that? Back in the day, I decided to start painting them in very interesting ways since, you know, they kind of all look alike. Also, just because I have a tendency to paint on everything. It's what I do. Here are all the ones that I pulled out of the box that were painted. Some of them I still kind of like. Love that. Others I want to like, but they're just kind of poorly done. Ooh, that blending. Is that really an apple? Is that really what I chose to paint? Why? But I know I had a lot of fun with these, and they do bring back memories. I have no memory of that. Oh, and I found these two later at the bottom of the box. I remember being obsessed with this one at the time. Kind of looks like the spreading of some sort of evil disease. Anyway, I still have this whole box of plain seashells, and even though these are naturally beautiful,
Honey, you don't even need makeup.
I think it's time for me to do what I do and paint these suckers. And I'm gonna be using this brand new acrylic paint. I'm at a introductory level now. I'm that good. It is an upgrade from my usual dollar store acrylic paint. I'm scared. Let's get started. I want to do a remake of this one because I still love rainbow. Some things will never change, but the paint job is just, it's not the best. Rainbow deserves better. So I'm going to lay out my rainbow paint in a nice, fresh new palette, and I'm adding a buttload of white paint into each color because I like pastels. The green looks, dead. So I added a bit of the neon green to it to kind of try to bring it back to life. Stay with me. Breathe. He's alive! I don't know where that came from. I haven't seen a therapist yet. Okay, let me get to actually painting the freaking seashell. Finally, it's only taken me 6 years to get to this. I decided to make the rainbow going horizontally instead of vertically like I had it before. I felt like it would just flow better with the shape and the ridges of the seashell. I thought about just painting over that original seashell, but I don't know. I decided I just wanted to keep that old one because I'm a hoarder.
And also, you know, from memories.
I have no memory of that. My main problem with the old one was how choppy looking the blending was. I don't even know. Can you call that blending? I've had a little bit of practice with blending in the past 6 years, so I'm hoping I can do a better job now. You can't rush a nice blend. You gotta keep working it.
Work it, girl.
Until you're happy. I'm happy! Now I'm gonna protect the paint with some Mod Podge. While I'm at it, I had the brilliant idea to add a little glitter. I own a substantial amount of glitter and I want to start using it more. There's no reason why I shouldn't be using my glitter. See, this one's never even been opened. Oh! Oh no. This is why I don't use glitter that often. So the protective seal just kind of came off in the cap. This was not sealed for my protection.
I don't feel protected.
All I was trying to do is just mix some glitter into the Mod Podge just to give that shell a little extra. So I painted that on. The camera doesn't really pick up the glitter too well. It kind of just looks dirty. It is a little bit prettier in person. Then I used my Posca paint pen to add my little signature, and this shell is done. I think it came out really pretty. I think this is a big improvement from the one I did 6 years ago. Stop talking about the 6 years. For this next one, I'm gonna use a much different approach. I'm actually gonna paint a beach scene since it's a seashell from the beach. Yeah, it's not that revolutionary of a concept, but whatever. Since I seem to be so impressed with my past little wave, that's kind of cool. What? I decided I wanted to do something similar, but this time I'm just gonna do the whole ocean.
It's gonna look so cool.
It's looking a bit of a hot mess right now, but you know, that's often the case with painting. Oh my gosh, no. Opie! Things are real ugly in the beginning usually. You just gotta keep on going and it gets better unless it doesn't. That happens sometimes too. So, and that's my headphone cord popping in and out like that.
What were you listening to?
Great question. This video is sponsored by Audible. Hi. So I've been sponsored by Audible in the past. I love listening to audiobooks during my long hours of working and painting. I have to have something playing in the background, otherwise it's
Too quiet.
It's scary.
I used to listen to TV shows a lot while I was working, but I found myself getting distracted a lot. I kept looking up to see what was going on. When I found Audible, it was perfect because I can listen and I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I'm getting the full experience just by listening. I even sometimes choose audiobooks that get me into the spirit of what I'm working on. While I'm painting seashells, as you can see,
See.
I was listening to Treasure Island, which is, ocean, pirates, booty. As an Audible member, you now get even more than ever. You can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Start listening to Audible with a 30-day trial and get your first 3 titles for free. There is so much to choose from. You will find something there that you enjoy. Visit audible.com/Mariah. That's audible.com/Mariah, or text Mariah to 500-500. Thank you, Audible, for sponsoring this video. So we're back in Seashell Town now, and I'm starting to refine this a little bit more and get into more detail work now. If you're wondering what my process for making this kind of thing is,
Nobody cares.
most of the time when I'm trying to draw or paint something somewhat realistically, I don't ever just pick one picture and copy it. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, if you want to do that, fine, whatever, I don't care, you can do that. I just get really bored doing that. So instead, I look at a bunch of pictures beforehand. Like for this one, I just looked up ocean photos. I get an idea of what the different textures look like.
How does the water look? How does the sky look? What's going on with that sand?
And then I use my observations to create my own unique beach scene just kind of out of my head. And that's how I do things most of the time. It's my artistic process.
Subject to change if I ever become a real artist.
Once the paint was dry, I of course covered it in a loving coat of Mod Podge to seal it for protection. Here's the final shell. I'm definitely really happy with how this came out.
It looks so cool.
And for some reason, I really like the inside of this one. I didn't really mean for this to be a complete redo of the old shell, but it kind of was. So here they are side by side. You can be the judge which one is better. You better like the new one. Moving on to the next one, I'm gonna use my metallic acrylics for this one. Hold up, color shift? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I think it's just metallic. First, I gotta clean out this very dirty paint palette. Wow, nice. And here go my metallics. So I decided to make this shell mermaid themed, but nothing outrageous, I just want to keep it simple. So I used my metallic paint to create a background in mermaidy colors. Yeah, notice the color shift paint, it looks no different from the regular metallic. So I still don't know what that's about. Once that dried, I went in with this silver marker, very creative name, and I'm gonna draw little scales on it. And if I could just stop blocking it with my thumb, that would be great. There we go. Even though this was a pretty simple thing to draw, I always get nervous when I have to draw without sketching first.
Don't mess up.
So yeah, this came out really nice. I mean, it's simple, but really pretty, I think. I guess there's nothing about this that's specifically mermaid. It could have just been some random fish, but we all know it's mermaid, so whatever. So for this next shell, I want to do another kind of landscapey painting. I was trying to think of things that were beach or ocean related. Otherwise, I feel like my ideas just get a little too random. So I started this one with a
Blood smear.
And then I went in with a really deep greenish, bluish, blackish background. I just wanted to feel really deep and rich. Okay, it's looking pretty nice. And then I did that.
Whoops.
Why? It just keeps spreading. Eventually, I got the background under control. I decided I wanted to do a scene of lily pads in the water. It doesn't really make that much sense because lily pads are really more of a lake or pond thing. They're not really an ocean thing, so it's very loosely related, but still, it's more related than an apple. This one was definitely the most challenging one that I've done. I was having some trouble with the lily. I wanted to like capture all of the detail that's in a flower like that, but it's such a small area to work with. It just kept looking blobby and blubby. What does blubby mean? And watch this. Whoop! I spent a long time off camera on that flower. I didn't even realize how long it was that I didn't have the camera on, and it changed a lot, but there it is. I added a couple little friends in the background. Hey guys! Hello back there! And the last little finishing touches. I think this one did come together pretty nicely. I'm still not 100% satisfied with how the flower came out, and maybe the lily pads could have been a little bit brighter. They kind of blend into the background a little too much, I think, but I do really like how dramatic it is and how the flower really pops off of the dark background. This last seashell has a darker color, so I'm gonna use some gesso on it. It is always the struggle to open this container. Oh gosh! I had to grow my extra 2 hands to get this open. Thank you. So I'm just painting the gesso on there. I wanted to do a white pearl metallic paint, which I happen to know is very, very transparent, so a base coat was necessary. It's a real gorgeous kind of pearl color. Oh yeah, duh. On top of that, I wanted to do some sort of metallic rainbow pattern using the ridges of the shell. The only problem is the ridges do get super tiny and then like start to disappear at the tip of the shell. So very quickly, my little stripes started like going off track and getting all wonky. Ooh, no. Then somehow I thought that doing this would help.
Oh crap, this is not good.
It didn't. So I ended up wiping as much of this off as I could. That's a death grip right there. I'm gonna start over. This time, I'm gonna do things a little differently. Well, still making mistakes.
Whoops. Shoot.
But this time, I started at the fat end of the shell and worked my way toward the bottom. I simplified the pattern a little bit. Some of the lines look a little wobbly, but that's just because they were made by hand by a very flawed human being. But I don't think it ruins it. I think the overall effect is still pretty good. I like this one. It kind of reminds me of like candy or a carnival or a clown. No. Not a clown. What I'm trying to say is I like it. It's very fun and festive. I didn't want to add my signature to the outside because there really wasn't a good place for it, so I added it to the inside, which looks incredibly stupid. Let's just not talk about that. So here are my 5 new additions to my painted seashell collection. Thank you guys for requesting that I do this. I had a lot of fun with it, and this was just like one of those projects that got pushed in a bin and forgotten about for 6 years. So thank you for taking interest in it and asking me to pick it up again. I'm really glad that I got to revisit this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next Friday. Bye!